Advertise smarter with Targetable.
Hello, 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 hello. Mr. Jared Mermey, are you there? Buddy! Hi there. What's happening?
Same old, my friend.
God bless. I'm super stoked you were here. Super stoked. I love everybody that shows up early. Again, I say this on every webinar. I get super excited for people that show up on time to webinars because nothing frustrates me more than when somebody says, all right, the webinar is going to start at like 3:30, and then it's like 3:30 starts and like, all right, we're going to wait a few more minutes for people to join. Like, BS. You said 3:30. Let's go. I came ready. You're ready. People that show up to these things on time are people who are ready. What's up, Al? What's up, Henry? What's up, Raquel? I want to make sure that everybody can hear us. So just pop over into the chat real quick and tell us where you are dialing in from so that we know that you can hear us. Because otherwise, we're talking to nobody. So just pop over into the chat and let us know that you can hear us so that we know that these things I have a microphone off screen. I want to make sure that you can see it. Raquel says Dallas, Texas. Man, you got some indoor dining still happening down there, don't you? Indoor dining is happening in the Tex. What about you, Henry? What about Al? What about everybody else that's on here? John looks like he's on here. Steve. I want to make sure that everybody can hear me. And this is good practice because we do these things. I do this thing called the Yes Rev, where I'm going to ask you a question. Al is from South Africa. Amen. What time is it there? Like 4 a.m? I don't know. I'm terrible with math. Raquel says 50% Texas. It's pretty good. Henry's in Houston. Now we got Texas in the house. Maybe we should always do these at 3:30 if we want to talk to Texas. Anyway, I ask lots of questions. Oh, it's 10:30 in South Africa. Cool. I do lots of questions that are meant for you to go, yes, Rev, or yes, and I will ask them directly to Jared. So just get used to going in the chat and pressing yes and saying go. So with that, I'm going to take a sip of my bubbles. Jared, you ready?
Full speed ahead, my friend.
Feeling good? We always start with a spin. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's presentation, how to automate your ads and grow your local following. By the way, in my notes, I wrote ADDS, so ads like adds and subtraction. Hilarious. We're not here to talk about ads and subtraction. We're talking about adding ads to your profile for growth. Now, I want to give a quick shout out to my team at Branded Strategic for helping me promote this webinar, and also my friends at Driscoll Foods, which actually might be how you found out about this. Lastly, I want to give big props to Jared and everybody at Targetable for making this webinar happen. I am super grateful that they could connect us. So at the end of today's presentation, you will know how to make growing a local following on Facebook and Instagram ridiculously easy and affordable with ads. That is our promise to you. Okay. Now, we will have a full Q&A at the end, and Jared and I will be super excited to answer every single question you have. So if you have a question, please don't use the chat, use the Q&A. And at any point that you have a question, just pop them over in the Q&A. And at the end, we promise to go through Q&A. Now, that's not the only reason to stay to the end, is we also have a special gift. If you stay all the way to the end, you get the Q&A, and we do have a special gift that we want to give you that will definitely help you with your business. Okay, so what are you going to gain today? You're going to get 3 things, okay? By the end of this presentation, you will learn about how to make Facebook and Instagram ads really easy. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, you're going to learn how to attract local guests for literally $10 a day. I kid you not. And you're going to learn how to execute your ad in less than 10 minutes a week. Okay, you will know how to make growing a local following on Facebook and Instagram ridiculously easy and affordable with ads. I promise you. Now, hi. If you don't know me, my name's Rev Ciancio. Again, you could have found about this webinar a number of ways. I'm a hospitality marketing consultant. I also love brisket. I help restaurants raise awareness, acquire, and retain customers through digital marketing, social media, and the use of incredible software. And I have more than 20 years experience in branding, digital marketing, hospitality. And I've worked with literally hundreds of restaurants from, big multi-unit chains to, mom and pop shops to help them with attracting and retaining guests. Okay. A lot of people know me as a restaurant and hospitality marketing influencer. And that is because I run a couple of Instagram accounts with more than 650,000 followers total. In fact, that might be how you actually found out about the webinar today. And last thing you should know is that I used to own a bar in New York City. So I know exactly how hard it is to do all of this stuff. I know how hard it is to market and brand a location business. Today, we are here to talk about how to make growing a local following of Facebook and Instagram ridiculously easy and affordable with ads. Now, one more thing about me. I co-host a podcast with inspirational thought leader John Shaw. I literally just hung up the phone with him a couple minutes ago, having a great year. But the podcast is called Restaurant Executive Mastery, and it's where you get to hear how top executives, founders, CEOs, senior vice presidents at large multi-unit brands, how they bring transformational changes to their business. Okay. Show was created to help restaurant executives and entrepreneurs literally master your mindset and find inspirational ways to change your business from the top to the bottom. Okay, you can go right to rev.give/podcast. We give you permission to leave the webinar for 30 seconds. That's it. Shouldn't take you longer just to go to that link and follow, okay? You're going to get tactical solutions and examples that can help move your needle. So you want some inspiration, it's a great place. Again, it's called Restaurant Executive Mastery, and that link is rev.give/podcast. Now, since I introduced myself, Jared, you get to introduce yourself, and I do have a question for you once you get going here.
Awesome. Thanks, Rev. Hi, I've spent the last 2 years helping run Targetable. As you see, we're helping to automate, making it really easy to do Facebook and Instagram advertising for your restaurant, finding the right people nearby. I've been a bit of an entrepreneur in the past. I've helped launch digital banks. We've had over tens of thousands of users through successful marketing, managing hundreds of millions of dollars of deposits. I've also helped launch a hospitality brand in itself in the form of a long distance ride sharing company. We did long distance ride sharing, all in Teslas, helping take people from point A to point B across Southern California and the state of Nevada, and grew that business to several $1 million in revenue. And for the past 2 years, we've been running Targetable, and we've been servicing the restaurant industry. And I just have to say, I am in awe of the entrepreneurship shown by the industry, right? Reacting to whatever is thrown at you, whether it's global pandemic or someone just maybe not showing up for work for the day, and being able to make sure that your business is not only getting by, but striving during those times. That's awesome. Last but not least, you can follow me on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, but I'm going to tell you this, my handle is not nearly as cool as Rev's. Look at his pictures, not mine. I just have baby pictures, not nearly as cool as the burger pictures that Rev's has.
Well, today was brisket, but okay. So here's my question before we kick into this, because clearly I'm looking at your photo, right? And we're looking at mine, and we clearly got some COVID growth here, right?
Sure.
How mine has been 11 months. How long has yours been?
Well, I've had one haircut, semi-professionally done, halfway through COVID. So I'm in dire need of a second, and that was probably the July 4th area. So wow, 6 months. Time flies when you're in a pandemic, huh?
God bless. And just so everybody's participating, I want to know, get into the chat and let us know how long it's been since you've had a haircut. If it's been a week, that's okay. If it's been a year, just real quick, pop into the chat. Let us know, how long have you been growing your COVID fro? Okay. So just for some fun, go in there and pop it in. All right. Now let's get this going, because we promised everybody that we had a whole bunch of here to teach. So where you're telling us about how long you've had your COVID growth, let's go. Okay. Let's talk about some pain points. Okay. Let's talk about Instagram and reach. Okay. It is really hard, and we get that. Okay. It is really slow. It takes lots and 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 lots of content. Okay. Like lots of content. I say it all the time, right? Content monster is already hungry. And, I don't know where my phone is. It's over here, but I have no joke. I think I have 6,000 photos of food on here. And I still am like every day, like I need new photos, right? Because the content monster is always hungry. Okay. But we all know that Instagram and Facebook are really incredible ways to reach hungry locals, to build community, and to drive orders. Okay. That's why it's so important, and why we need to maximize what you're doing on those platforms. And we should just all admit it. Okay. It's a pay to play game. Okay. Organic reach is like, okay, to be really effective, you have to spend money. And that is where the real pain comes. Okay. Because why? It is hard to get content in front of locals. Sure, it's easy to get content online, but it's hard to get it in front of people that matter, consumers that live or work near you, where you are. Okay. The other pain point is like, I don't know when to do ads. Should I run them all the time? Should I run them when I have a special? Should I only do promotions? Like, I don't know when to do ads, right? Everybody feels this way. Okay. And lastly, and God bless, Ads Manager is like ridiculously hard. Jared, when was the last time you logged into your Ads Manager?
I try very hard not to log into my personal ads manager.
Yeah, but that's how most people feel, because it's a pain in the butt, right? And here's the other thing. If Al and Henry and Raquel and you and me and everybody else that's on here, if we logged into our ads manager right now and we all shared our screens, they would probably all look different, because the Facebook engineers are like constantly tinkering that system. So like, it's hard to maintain best practices, because like it's always changing, and like it's a headache. We get it. The point here is we understand the pain points. Okay. It leaves you desiring more, and you wish you just know how to use it, right? That's a yes, Rev. Yes, Rev. Okay. But here's the thing. There are secrets, and today you're going to get them. Okay. There are 3 secrets we want to give you today. Content works when you have constant impressions, okay? Telling somebody about something once gets you nothing. You have to tell them multiple times. We'll get into that. Okay, the other thing is that Facebook and Instagram advertising is cheap, like ridiculously cheap, and we're gonna show you that, okay? And the last secret is that there is an easy button for Ads Manager. So the pain of using Ads Manager can be gone with a button. And here's the thing, you will get consistent local impressions and actions when you have that button. Cool, Jared?
Very cool.
Everybody cool? Yes, Rev? Awesome. So here's how this is going to work, okay? We're going to talk to you about 5 ways, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that you can use with Facebook and Instagram ads to maximize your reach to a local community, because that's what's important, local reach, okay? So how do you reach people who'd be interested in your food, but also live or work near your business? We will get into the weeds on this webinar, okay? We're going to show you how to make that easy. And as we keep promising, you will know how to make growing a local following on Facebook and Instagram ridiculously easy and affordable with ads. So with that, we're going to launch a quick poll. Jared, can you launch poll number 1 for us, please? What we want to know is, okay, where are you today with your ads? Okay, which one of these are you using? You're not going to get in trouble no matter what you answer here. We're just trying to frame, where are we at? What kind of talk track do we need to deliver? You know, are you just sharing organic content to Facebook and Instagram? You know, are you doing Facebook and Instagram promoted posts? Some people do the press the little blue button. Okay. Are you creating ads with Facebook Manager? If you're Jared, you're clearly not. He already indicated he doesn't log in, or he tries not to. Are you using an agency for social media management? That's okay. That's a great idea. You know, are you using an agency for ads management, or none of the above? Are you just here to learn? So the question is, we want you to go and let us know which one of these you're using. Sharing organic content, promoted post, creating ads with Ads Manager, use an agency for organic social media management, using agency for ads management, or none of the above. Jared, how are we looking?
We're looking really good. And it seems like we've got a few folks who've just started to do a little bit of ads on their own with the Ads Manager. But most folks here are just sharing organic content, making sure that they're getting their content out using the free channels that Facebook makes available.
Awesome. Super important, right? Because if you have great content, you can have great ads, right?
That's exactly right. One helps feed the other.
Awesome. Cool. All right. Well, let's turn off this poll. Thank you guys for participating. Now that we know where everybody's at, let's rip in. Let's rip into number 1. Okay. Customers need to see your brand frequently. Okay. You know, make sure you are getting consistent content in the market, because if you do, not only will you get the benefits of paid ads, but your following and organic content will be rewarded as well. Jared, you want to talk about what impressions look like here?
Sure. So impressions are how many times people are seeing your brand. And there's a rule of 7, which basically says most people, they need to see your brand at least 7 times before they're ready to buy. The first time, that's great, but they may not fully wrap their head around what you're offering, or they may need to be reminded, right? They may need to see, hey, how good is your pizza? 2, 3, 4, 5 times in a week or 2. So this is a great survey, brought out by Ignite Visibility. And they asked folks, how many times do you need to see a brand? And it could be through paid ads, it could be through other channels as well. How many times do you need to see a paid ad before you are able to and ready to make a purchase? And you can see nearly a full third need to see an ad more than 6 times. That's a lot.
That's a lot. Yeah.
And more than 2/3 need to see an ad or see a brand at least 3 times. So again, really important to get your impressions out there.
Okay, now let's keep something in mind here, right? Impressions don't just have to be ads, right? It could be email, it could be text, it could be somebody driving by your store, it could be seeing a billboard, hearing you on the radio, getting a recommendation of a friend, right? But the key is you don't control all of those, right? And if somebody's never had an experience with you, if they've never been a guest, then you have none of them. So if you know, I'm here in North Jersey. If you want me to come eat pizza at your restaurant, well, you can DM me, hint, hint, right? Or you can show me an ad. And by the 7th time I see that pizza, I'm like so curious about that pizza that like, I at least will go look at your profile. I'm at least going to Google your restaurant, and assuming that all the other parts of your house are buttoned up, like I'm probably going to buy. Okay. But so the key here is that lots of consistent impressions are how you get somebody to take action. And the key is to get 7 impressions, right? Everybody's got that. So secret number 1 here, lots of impressions, 7, you need 7. Okay. So now you know that people need to have lots of impressions to get them to take action. how do we get those impressions? Okay, what is the best way to do it? Now we're going to lead to Facebook and Instagram impressions are being cheap, but we want to walk through the whole universe. So let's start with this. Okay, let's compare a couple of ways that restaurants typically use, whether they're multi-unit or mom and pop shops and in between, to get local impressions. So the first one is direct mail, Valpak, right? Now we talked about this offline, Jared, but what happens when you get a direct mail at your house?
It goes straight to the garbage.
Right. So, but here's the thing, it's cheap, right? It's 3 to 5 cents per household. So it took 3 cents to get to your household and end up in your trash bin, but that's pretty cheap. I know for me, as I have to go down the stairs through my basement. I have to go out the garage. I got to walk all the way down to the end of my driveway. And my mailbox is actually on the front of my house and I live on a hill. So I got to walk back up the hill and go to my mailbox and pull it down. Now, when I'm on the walk down the hill back to the garage to come back in the house, I'm literally sorting the mail. This is a bill. This is a letter from my mom. This is a Christmas card. Trash, trash, trash. And I don't read them. So yes, it is a very cheap way to reach households, but it's not an effective way because there's no way to measurement. Okay. There's no way for you to know that somebody actually read the mail. It works, it's sure. And there's like a 1% to 2% rate there, but it's just not a measurable way. Now, the next thing you could do is you could do radio, and lots of people do radio, but there's a high production cost. You have to produce the ad. And, if you have a studio in your house, I don't, maybe you can do it cheaply, but, typically you're budgeting about $1,000 for production. And then that costs $500, $2,000 to buy an ad. But Jared, how cool is it when you hear about your business on the radio?
You feel like you're the king of the universe. It is the best, but it's the best for you, right? It's not perhaps the best for your business.
Yeah, it is vanity metric. By the way, Alice saying that you're a little soft in the voice. So I don't know if maybe you want to scream unless your kid's asleep. But anyway, I'm going to do most of the talking anyway, because I'm amped up about this. Okay. So here's the thing with radio, you also can't measure it, right? You just know you heard it and it feels good. So let's talk about something that's measurable, which is Google. And Google is great because when somebody's craving hot wings, what do? Go to Google, and what do they Google?
They say hot wings near me.
That's right. And you want to capture them in that moment. And that's the great thing about search and display ads is that when somebody's searching for something, you come up, you're valid. It's great, right? And that average cost per click, which is how Google basically figures out what to charge people, is $1 to $2. And it's not that much, right? It's not that much. It's pretty good. So if somebody has already decided they want pizza or they already want a sandwich and they Google best sandwich near me or sandwich for lunch or sandwich delivery, Google Ads is a great way to get that person. Okay. But you know where we're going with this, right, Jared?
I know exactly where we're going with this.
How do you get people before their stomach tells them what to search?
You got to find them on social.
Right. So imagine this. It's 3:55. I just got done with a Zoom call, right? I have a meeting at 4:30 and I haven't eaten lunch. But what do I do before I go search for lunch? I pick up my phone and I scroll through Instagram and Facebook to see what my friends and everybody's doing, or maybe post a friend. I have not yet searched for, my stomach has not said, Rev, you want hot wings. Okay. If you nail a person with an ad while they're on social before they've gone to Google for the search, you incept, oh, I do want pizza. Because here's the thing, once they're already Googling, you've lost. If you aren't the thing that they're searching for, right, then the Google thing means nothing to you. You only win when somebody's searching for you. You want to incept them. With Facebook and Instagram ads, you can hit them with an ad before they've decided to search for what they crave.
That's exactly right. And we call that skipping the search. And what's really powerful about that is you bring them directly to your ordering page of choice. Rev, I know you run your boot camp where you teach people, hey, let's drive as much traffic as we can to the ordering website where I'm not going to have to pay a commission, right? My first party websites, you bring people there. Unlike where search is involved, two things. Number one, I search wings near me or pizza near me. I'm going to get dozens of pizza places that come up. So not only will I feel like I've won the lottery as a restaurant operator, someone actually chooses me, but once they get to my menu, that back button is super easy to find and go look at the other 60 choices that are there. Furthermore, what Google's going to do is often drive traffic to the websites where they have partnerships, which are the DoorDash and the Postmates of the world, and send your traffic to online ordering platforms where you're going to have to pay a commission.
Yeah. So the way to win here is with search. Now, again, if you look at the top, the head of the slide, we're talking about the price. the Q1 median cost of impression, which you've probably already read because you're paying attention, right, is less than a penny, 0.008% of a cent or whatever. Again, I'm bad at math. But think about this. We told you that you would know how to have an ads budget for $10 a day. How many impressions can you get for $10 if they only cost an eighth of a cent? Again, very bad at math, but that sounds like a lot to me. Okay. So first of all, ads are great because you can get to somebody before they search. They're fully trackable. You can send them to your online ordering and they're ridiculously cheap, right? So now you know. Multiple impressions get people to take action, and Facebook and Instagram's ads are cheap and easy way to get those impressions. Okay. So now let's start to talk about the easy part, because we promise you by the end of the presentation, you will know how to make growing a local following on Facebook and Instagram ridiculously easy and affordable with ads. So you want to know how to make it easy? Use an agency, right? These people are professionals. They know what they're doing. Okay. When your needs are complex, and you absolutely positively have to reach an audience, use an agency, okay? If you have like a new store that's opening in Fullerton and you got 2 stores that are really like not doing well in Minnesota and the 3 stores in Texas are launching a different menu, man, that's complexity, right? You might want to use an agency, but really the key here is about budgeting. Jared, do you want to talk about budgeting in agencies?
Exactly. So the key with an agency, and look, agencies can be great. There are a lot of really good ones out there. There's some bad ones, but there are a lot of really good ones out there as well, is to make sure you're getting efficiency on your dollar, right? And what does that mean? That means your media budget should be 5 times what you're paying in your retainer. So let's say, for example, a retainer for an agency is $1,000. You want to have at least a $5,000 media budget. Now, why is that? Well, that's because let's just think about your results. Let's just say you've got a $1,000 retainer and you have a media budget of $1,000, which is quite big often for a lot of restaurants. Not every restaurant has $1,000 to go spend on ads. If you're able to achieve, let's just call it a dollar cost per click, well, that dollar cost per click is only calculated with the media budget in mind. When you also consider how much you're paying whomever is running that ad on your behalf, you're really paying $2 for a cost per click. So the key here is making sure that you have the right relationship or the right ratio between your media spend and what you're paying the person to manage your restaurant, manage your ads for you. Because your goal is to use as much of your budget as possible, as much of your overall budget as possible towards your media. And that's where software can be very helpful.
Sure. So again, if you want to make it easy, right? If you want to make it easy, if your budget is high and your needs are complex, an agency is a great solution. We love agencies, right? We love them for those reasons. Now, here's the thing. Okay. Now you know customers need to see your brand frequently, right? Impressions. You know that Facebook and Instagram are a great way to drive really cheap impressions. That if you have complex needs, you can use an agency. We promise you to make it easy and cheap. That one is not cheap, but easy. So what is the easy and cheap one, Jared? It is use the easy button, AKA Targetable. And with that, Jared, can you please show us how easy it is to use Targetable?
It'll be my pleasure here.
I figured as much.
Yeah, I guess that's why I showed up, right? Hopefully everyone here can see a screen, see something that looks more like a Pinterest board. And folks, if you can't see in the comments, please just let me know. But hopefully everyone is seeing something that looks way more intuitive than Facebook's ad manager if you're used to using the ads manager. And what we're showing you here is logged in experience with Targetable. We call this your smart feed. Why do we call it your smart feed? Because it's really smart. It knows a lot of stuff about you and it makes ads for you. So what you can see on this smart feed are 2 types of cards. Right here on the top, you see 3 suggested campaigns, and I'll explain what those are in a second, as well as insights, little questions that we're going to ask you that help inform these suggested campaigns. What is a suggested campaign? Well, it is a full ad campaign ready, developed for you. And that includes the content of the ad. As Rev told you at the top of this webinar, coming up with the next idea of what your next ad can be, should be, can often be difficult. Furthermore, compiling it, picking the right picture, writing the right text, making sure you're linking to the right place. Again, a lot of time, a lot of energy can get exhausting. Our software, it does it for you and presents to you ready to go campaigns that have the selected images, has the copy, decides where that ad should go to, but perhaps most importantly, not only does it have the ad copy, but it has the media buying strategy. How much money should you be spending on these ads? When should you be running these ads? What times a day? What days a week? And who should you be targeting as you send those ads out locally, right? We want to make sure that those ads are close to your stores. So in this demo, As you can see, as I go to my map page, I've got a New York City restaurant here. You may not be able to see it, it's a little light, but there's a little circle here. That's a mile radius, right? Because we want to hit people who are close by. You can actually act on this ad. They could order takeout, they could order delivery. Depending on where I am, like in Texas, they might actually be able to come in and come into my establishment, right? So if I'm in Southern Manhattan, for example, and I'm targeting people in Philadelphia, that makes no sense. If I'm in Southern Manhattan, and I'm targeting people even in just the next county, that might not make sense. So we'll make sure that your ads are local. Local means different things in different places, but you'll be targeting the right people at the right time with your message. So when you think, hey, how long is it going to take me to do my ads every week? Well, our goal is you come in and you begin to trust the software, right? Rev, you've used the software. I think you've learned how smart it can get over time, and I'll explain what that means in a second, right, Rev?
Absolutely.
Awesome, cool. So our goal is you come in and you see these suggested campaigns and you just say, hey, I'm going to publish that. And by clicking this publish button, boom, I now have an ad going to Facebook, going to Instagram, and going to the right people on those channels. So let's just say, hey, I want to edit something really quickly. This ad, it's 95% of the way there. I just want to make some small edits, and it's way easier to work off a draft of something someone else has created as opposed to a blank canvas. I could click this little pencil here, and I could go in and start looking at my ad. So what are a few things, I'm not going to go over everything, but what are a few things that I could change? Well, number one, we can make sure that we're manipulating Facebook's algorithms to optimize for different things. This ad right here is optimized to drive down that cost per click, right? I want to be way less than $1 or $2 as we talked about on Google. Or we could optimize for views, which is to say, hey, I want to get my brand out there in front of as many people as possible for as inexpensively as possible. So when we think,
because what do we know now, right? We know that impressions drive action.
Exactly, impressions drive action. And therefore, when we think about targetable, we really say, hey, targetable is almost a 2-for-1, right? It's the most cost-effective PR agency because we're going to get your brand out there wildly inexpensively. And it's a direct media buying agency where we're going to drive action through our ads, through optimizing through clicks. And we'll help manage your budget and optimize between the two. All right, as you go to Facebook and Instagram, as you can see on the side, we have a Facebook preview. We have an Instagram preview. You'll get to see what your ad will look like before it goes out there. And then I can edit the content. So if I want to change, hey, put a little copy in there and you can see I added high rev, it updates in real time. Or if I want to change the images, I can do so too. I think everyone always loves the images. That's what we most react to when we see ads. And how do we draw our imagery? Well, number one, we're going to pull your Instagram images and make them available in your profile. And don't worry, they're only available to you. We're not syndicating your images out to other accounts. Or number two, you could upload your own imagery and we'll consider those, we'll use those in the ads that we generate for you. But furthermore, we have a library of searchable images. When I searched before, it was 9 in the morning before me, and that's probably not quite as acceptable as doing so at 1 p.m. when I search for beer. But as you can see, these are all going to be royalty-free images where you have appropriate copyright. I don't think enough people realize that technically you're breaking copyright laws. If you go to Google, start doing image search, pull something down, and then use that for your ad, odds are there's a chance that you could get in trouble. Not huge odds, but if you do, it's a lot, right? So we're going to make sure that the images that you use are appropriate for your ads. And last but not least, just all of the different ways that we can target people: gender, age, when we're running the ads. We're going to run it breakfast, lunch, or dinner, right? If I'm running a happy hour promotion during weekdays, I'm probably going to only run the ads from noon to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday. It doesn't make sense to be running my ads at 8 a.m. on a Saturday. People aren't thinking about happy hour then, right? All these things that might feel intuitive, right, as you see the answers, but perhaps isn't when you're doing it on your own the first time or the second time or the third time. The system is answering it for you, and it's answering it being informed based upon how your ads are running, right? So as your ads start to run, it'll double down on the type of ads that are working, as well as what I call the power of the community. So when we pick these keywords, and these keywords map to everything Facebook knows about all of its users, so it defines who we're going to show the ad to. We pick these ads knowing, hey, what is working for pizza places in general? What is working for sushi places in general, right? The first 20 sushi places on the platform, well, they have some ads that have run, and we've picked up on, hey, what works and doesn't work. And in turn, it allows the next sushi place that comes on board to come in with such a head start, right? So you come in with the power of the community behind you, and the ability to come in, see these ads, and very quickly hit publish. Boom, your ads are out, your ads are live, and you're you're doing sophisticated Facebook advertising.
That's awesome. So I actually timed you, and that took you 10 minutes to go through the demo. Okay. Now I want everybody to count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then when I go in there and edit an ad for one of my clients, that's how long it takes me, 5 minutes. Because once you do this once or twice, it's super easy. You just, like Jared said, change the optimization. Maybe you take off Friday nights because you don't need to advertise pizza because you're already business, or you don't want to advertise at 4 a.m, which, by the way, if you're pressing the promoted button on Instagram, you do not get any of those options, and boom, you're live. That's it. It's that simple.
That's exactly right. The system is smart, it's informed, it's intuitive. As you log in, we're pulling in information about you. We're building what we call a rich data profile that takes into account what you've put out across the internet, your digital footprint, as well as what your customers have in their reviews. All of that gets brought into consideration as we generate these ads for you. Furthermore, just quickly, we have these things called insights. They're different questions. Some of them are rather generic like these. Some of them might be a bit more specific to you. And we just ask you to agree or disagree with them, right? Hey, do you want to run a gift certificate campaign? I do, right? Some smiley faces. I can leave a note. You know, some folks allow you to spend $90 to get a $100 gift certificate, something of that nature. And what you're doing is you're giving us a signal, right? You're giving our platform signal. Hey, this is what I want to see an ad around. And very quickly, when you come into the platform a week or two later, you're going to see ads that hit on those topics. So think about how you might manage these ads if you might have an agency or have a third-party person running these for you. It's a lot of time on the phone. It's a lot of meetings. It's a lot of email. This is way simpler. It's just an easy-to-use platform that lets you get your content out there consistently, and content that's not only really good, but targeting the right people close by.
Awesome. All right. Can you give me back sharing here, Jared?
Here we go. Going once, going twice. Boom.
All right. Now let's talk about, we said that we would promise you two things: cheap and easy. And you just saw easy. Now I went back to this slide for a reason, because remember, the Q1 median cost per impression was less than a penny, 0.87 cents. Okay. So if you have the easy button and your 0.87, we made it cheap and easy, but guess what? We got something else to show you. Okay. Let's look at this. Okay. So when you're using Targetable, they're actually getting consistent CPMs that are 50 to 75% better than the Facebook median. So that means instead of 0.87 cents, you're paying 0.5 cents. So not only do you have an easy way to create these ads and get them live, you are actually going to get likely cheaper than running them through your own ads. Jared, do you want to talk about this a little bit?
Yeah, this just goes to the idea of not only being smarter because of the power of the community that I talked about before, but also learning what works for you, right? So our ads are more informed the more you use our system. It will double down on the ads and the topics and the themes and the keywords that are working for you, and it'll stop and move away from those that aren't, right? So when I think about what a lot of folks do, for better or worse, it's a spray and pray mentality. It's getting your content out there, but not thinking or using the data on your behalf to go, hey, this is what's working or not working. It's just getting the next idea out there. And that'll get your content out there, but it won't do so effectively. What our tool will do is consider, hey, what's working and not working, not only for you, but restaurants that might look like you, might act like you, to get you these types of results, not only on the ability to drive down your cost for impressions, but your cost per clicks that get your traffic to your websites to order on the channels that you want.
Good. Now we promised you cheap and we promised you easy, and there it is, but there's more. Okay. There's more to go over here. So let's do a quick review. Number one, customers need to see your brand. Why? Because lots of impressions equal actions. Okay. Now, number two, Facebook and Instagram impressions are really cheap. Okay. If you need easy and you have complexity, an agency is a great idea if you have a big budget. Okay. Targetable is great if you want it easy and don't have a big budget. So you want easy and cheap, there's Targetable. Now, we told you there'll be lots of secrets. This is the last one. Okay. What else? What else can we show you that lives up to our promise that you will know how to make growing a local following on Facebook and Instagram ridiculously easy and affordable with ads? Well, it is a secret little formula that is ads plus organic equals exponential growth. And here's the thing. When you are running both at the same time, there's an unbelievable amount of benefits. And Jared, you're the one that showed this to me, so maybe you're better poised to talk about it.
Sure. So if you're putting out organic content, like most of the folks who took the poll at the top of the webinar said they're doing, problem with organic content is because Facebook has become a pay-to-play space, only 5% of your followers, that's the latest statistic, are actually seeing your content. And who are your followers? They're people who already know your brand. Well, with paid ads, not only will new people see your ads, but your organic content is actually going to perform better. Well, why is that? Well, people who click on your paid ads can sometimes click to your Facebook page if they click your name at the top of the ad. And in doing so, they'll see your organic content, they'll choose to follow you, and you'll see your follower count growth. We have a restaurant here in Southern California that saw 12% follower growth in just a few months after starting to use their ad, starting to run ads on Targetable. And Rev, I think you would say, if I could get my follower count to go so that not only are my ads performing well, but my free content starts to perform better, as these stats show, nearly 100% increase in my people coming to my page and clicking on that, over 100% increase in people who are seeing my content in impressions there, just there, so I could get to my 7 impressions per customer much more quickly. I think you take that trade every single time.
The answer to that very long, would I do this, is a very short yes. Okay. Because 12% follower growth sounds insane to me. That sounds awesome. I have like 101,000 followers on my main account. And like, I struggle all the time, like thinking, how do I get local followers? Because I want to have an impact here. Man, it's hard. But here's the thing. I spend all this time on my content and all this time with creativity, marrying some ads to that, it grows it. Now, here's the thing, Al and Henry and Raquel and everybody else, Steve and Joe that's on here, listen, okay? Remember this. If you are growing at 12% in your follower count, right? And we talk about that organic reach being 5%. Well, 5% of 5 is 1, but 5% of 10 is 2. And 5%, you see what I'm saying? So it grows exponential. So as you're growing, your follower growth, and you're growing with those local impressions, you're going to dominate over time, right? You're just going to have exponential growth. Okay. This means that your paid ads compound your efforts and help lead to better performance on all of your marketing. It's easier to make the impression. It's easier to get to that person because you have all this growth. Anything else you want to cover on that piece, Jared?
And it just means that your media budget can stay consistent. You don't need to grow it over time if your organic is working with it. So it allows you to be much more cost effective with your dollar.
Right. So like I said, $10 a day. If you're only paying 0.5 to 0.7 cents an impression, $10 a day is actually a ton of money. Okay. It is a ton of money to reach people that are within a 2 to 3 mile radius of your store. Like, you can reach a ton of people. Okay. So if you don't want to figure out how to use Facebook Ads Manager, and you don't want to spend a time managing and tweaking your ads and maybe screwing them up, if you don't want to spend thousands of dollars in an agency, check out Targetable. Okay. As you already know, they make Facebook and Instagram ads really, really easy. As I like to say, push button easy. Okay. If you do really need a robust strategy, you don't have the time to run the ads yourself, or you don't have a dedicated person who can, again, I might suggest you have an agency. I know a couple of good ones. Jared does too. We're happy to make a referral. Just reach out to us and ask. Okay. But if you can get by on a couple of local awareness ads a month, spending just like an hour of time, right, and setting up those ads and looking at performance with just $10 a day, check out Targetable. Why not? It is cheap and easy. Okay. So there you go. You got your 5 things. We promised you cheap and easy ways to make local growth. I promised you that you would know which content to use and you would know how to get this done. Okay. I think we got there. We did, right?
I think we're there.
That's a yes, Rev. Okay. You are way more equipped. Okay. I'm sure you have questions though. So please, I've already seen some questions come in. Pop those into the Q&A. We'll be happy to answer as many questions as we can. And if you have more, I can see you guys in there. If you have your questions, pop in the Q&A. We're going to get to those. Okay. Now, while you are entering the Q&A, okay, we have a couple of things to talk about, including the special gift that I promised. Okay. Now, as far as the replay of this presentation, once we get the video edited and uploaded and all this stuff, Targetable is going to send you an email so that you can watch the replay. Because again, we went really fast, right? We went fast, didn't we, Jared?
We want to end the year on a bang here.
We did, right? And I'm a fast talker. I'm a fast talking jive turkey from Detroit. Okay. That, I want you to be able to review all this material. So that sounds good, right? Okay. So keep popping those questions in the Q&A. Now, in the Q&A, I want to ask you a question. Let's pause. Here's my question. Okay. We just spent about 40 minutes together. I think it was a good experience, right? We had a lot of fun. We taught you a whole bunch of cool things. I know we went super fast. We threw a lot at you. It was like a fire hose, right? We promised you would learn how to make growing a local following on Facebook and Instagram ridiculously easy with affordable ads. Okay. We promised that. Now, I know a way to make this much, 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 much easier. And you kind of already know what it is, but I just want to ask your permission. Okay. Go over to the chat and I want to ask your permission. Are you okay if I take a minute to go deep on something that I know will make this a lot easier? Okay. I'm asking your permission. Go to the chat and let me know if I have permission to show you a way to make this much, much easier. I'm just going to wait and let you answer. Looks like we got some yeses coming in. People coming saying yes, they want to learn about this. Okay, I see Henry says yes. Al says yes. Raquel, I know you're going to say yes. Steve, Joe, then here's we're going to get yes. We got. I see the Q&A coming in, but I have permission, and so that is what we're going to do. You gave me permission. Let's go. Okay. Now, you know that I like technology. I consider myself a tech evangelist. It's in my bio on LinkedIn. When I know tech will help you work smarter, go faster, and achieve results, I'm going to make suggestions that you use it. Okay. Please check out Targetable. It is incredible. Targetable makes the headache of Instagram ads really, really, really easy. And it is really, really affordable. It creates all the ads for you. And all you have to do is go in and tweak them like Jared showed you. Maybe you don't want your ads running on a Friday night because you're already busy, or maybe you want to optimize for clicks to your online ordering. You can't do that when you promote a post on Instagram, but you can do it with Targetable. Okay. I know lots and lots of restaurants who only need like 20 or 30 minutes a week to manage their awareness ads using Targetable. Again, spending like $10 a day on ads because you get so many impressions. Targetable takes your audience, your data, your content, and creates ads based on your goals. So here's what we're going to do. Jared, can you please launch our poll? We have a poll for everybody here. We want to ask you a question. Okay. Super important here. And we want you guys to be honest when we give you this poll. Okay. So let's get that poll going. And we're going to ask you a question. We want to know, do you want to learn more about Targetable? Okay. Is it interesting to you to learn more? Okay. If you want to automate your local awareness marketing through Instagram so that you can focus on other things, use Targetable. Okay. It will make your Instagram awareness efforts really easy, especially after you've worked so hard to create incredible content. I've seen restaurants have incredible success with this. Okay. I've seen, they turn it on. It takes a few minutes a week to manage their ads, and voila, you have ads targeting, hungry locals all the time, bringing them right to your online ordering. Now, Jared, how are we looking? How are the results looking, right? They could have answered, yes, automate my Instagram awareness now. You just want to ask a question and learn some more about it. You could say you wanted to take the slow road. Maybe you're just in information gathering mode. Maybe you're not the decision maker. Maybe you already use Targetable. We did this webinar earlier today and a ton of people already use Targetable. We're like, great, awesome. We hope you learned how to make this better. Or maybe you're already using that expensive agency. So Jared, what's the number one answer looking like right now?
I'm glad to report most folks want to learn more about Targetable.
People want to automate their Instagram awareness now. Well, here's the thing. We haven't even got to the good stuff. Okay. So for those of you who still not saying you just want to learn more, because you attended this webinar and because you stayed to the end, because you are a winner, because you're here to play your A game, I got Jared and Targetable team here to give you 1/3 off your first month. Yes, that is right. Okay. All you have to do is say that you are interested, and we will get you in touch with someone there that you can answer all those questions about easily automating your local awareness. So again, last time I'm going to ask, do you want to learn more about Targetable? Yes. Do you want to take the slow road? Are you already using Targetable? I have an expensive agency. Jared, did we get literally every single person to answer here?
Every single person has responded to the poll. That's awesome.
Awesome. Well, for those of you that said yes, you want to automate your Instagram awareness now, we will introduce you to somebody at Targetable that you can ask all the questions you want, and you can learn everything you want to know. So cool. Let's bring that poll down. Thank you for running that, Jared. I appreciate that so much, guys. Listen, this is a true story. This thing is custom built for restaurants, but I've even used it for myself. Took some engineering work, but I use it for my own ads. They literally generate the ads based on your content, your data, and your goals. And you just go in and you just go and tweak them. It is really, really, really easy. Now, if you thought the 3rd off your first month was the gift, it is not, okay? Because we promised you a special gift, here it is. Because you are looking to make awareness really, really easy while using Facebook and Instagram, Target will create an ebook that will help guide you in the setup of your profiles for each network. So if you're gonna go get into some really good ad work and build that growth, you have to have some foundational stuff done. Okay. This book will show you that stuff. 8 steps to make your restaurant's Facebook and Instagram set up correctly, regardless of if you're using ads, but do these things and your ads will perform better, but so will your organic content. So because you attended today, we're going to email you a recording to this and you're going to get this ebook. Okay. So again, because you stay in the ad, you get a copy. Thank you for doing that. Now, before we get into Q&A, one last thing. If you like this webinar and you learned something useful that's going to help you grow that local following, let's get together and let's take this to the next level. Okay, we're going to we're ending with a bang. We're starting with a bang. Join us in a couple of weeks for a webinar that you're going to think is awesome. 5 ways to unlock wild engagement on Instagram. If you're growing that following, you want to get them engaged now, right? Make sure the impressions are happening. Join us for this thing January 14th at 11 a.m. on the East Coast, 8 a.m. on the West Coast. Okay, and you're going to learn a couple of things. You're going to learn 5 proven methods to grow your engagement. We'll show you that. We're going to give you some tips on creating incredible content because you need incredible content for those ads, right? Let's make sure that you have what you need. And then we're also going to show you the easy button to attract local guests. And it's targetable. But the thing is, we have to teach you all this other stuff. So it's a free webinar. Okay, you can go to bit.ly/unlockinsta. Okay, again, bit.ly/unlockinsta. Register for this webinar. It's free. We're going to show you a bunch of stuff that's going to superpower your ads. Now, here's the thing. We're going to rip into some Q&A, so don't go anywhere. And we are coming down the end of the webinar here, so I'm not sure how many questions we're going to get to, but we'll answer a couple, and then after that, we'll email people. Okay, so Raquel is asking, are there a certain amount of ads that should be ran monthly, 1, 2, or multiple? Wow, that's such a good question. Jared, I know you burning to answer that. I have a thought too, but I'd like you to go first.
Sure. So the key question is, how many ads do you have running at one single time, right? And what we basically say is you should have no more than 2 ads running at a single time, and your different ads should have different strategies behind it, right? So when we talked about optimize for views or optimize for clicks, all the different ways that you can buy ads, you should make sure you're doing a little bit of each. Because what you don't want to do by running too many ads at once is to compete against yourself for the same customer. And that's what's going to happen. And that will hurt your results. That'll drive up your cost per impressions. That'll drive up your cost per clicks. You want to make sure you're running the right number of ads and assigning the right amount of budget to each in order to get those results that you're looking for.
That's great. I got another question here. This is, how frequently should I be running ads? I kind of have two answers for this. A, all the time. Obviously not 3 a.m. on a Friday, like we kind of laughed about, but essentially you should be running ads every single day. Now, the other answer to this question is, how frequently should you change out the creative in those ads, right? That's the question to ask. I've seen people say that 10 to 14 days is sort of the expiration on an ad. I think 7 days is better. If I'm using Targetable, I'll basically go on Thursday mornings at like 8:30 a.m. and spend 15 minutes and prop my ad for the next 7 days and walk away. And then the next Thursday morning, same thing. You could set a similar schedule. But if you get to that 10 to 14 day range, your ad will expire because, again, we're advertising to a tiny little circle of people, right? In my town, there's 18,000 people. Man, you could exhaust that audience really fast, right? And I live in a 3-mile town. It's like a Facebook perfect case study to advertise it. You will exhaust it quick. If I see the same pizza every day, I'm kind of like, come on, guys, right? But if you change that ad once a week, I don't see it as often. It's a lot more. You're going to catch my interest every time. It's a great question. Any other thoughts on that, Jared?
No, I think you're spot on. And I'd even go one step further. The different ways you buy have different durations, right? So those ones that are optimizing for views, you might want to recycle those a little bit more quickly. The ones that optimize for clicks, you can let them run a little bit longer, but to your point, you want to stay within that range that you defined.
Cool. And you'll know because targetable ads get smart over time. All right, listen, we are out of time, guys. I'm sorry. There's a few more questions here. We will email everybody who asked a question to make sure that we answer that because we don't want to leave you hanging, but we do got to get to the end of it. Again, guys, super thanks that you were here today. We're really, really grateful. Everybody, thank you for saying you want to learn more about Targetable. We're going to email you later so you can talk to people and get all your questions answered. If you're watching the replay, just bang us back. Let us know. You can talk. We'll hook you up. Okay. And if you want to change your mind, we're going to email you later today. Just reply and say, I want to talk to somebody. I want to ask questions. Okay. So it's not over. You can ask more questions. We're going to send you the recording. We're going to send you the ebook. We're going to get you in front of somebody you can ask questions. And please join us on January 14th to learn 5 ways to unlock wild engagement on Instagram. Thank you, Jared.
Thank you, Rev. Happy New Year.
Same to you, buddy. And thank you, everybody who attended, everybody who watched this on the replay. Happy end of new year. Happy new 2021. Happy being successful with your ads. Guys, make it a great, tasty day. We're super grateful that you are here.
Advertise smarter with Targetable.